So just take a moment and take your hands and rub them together really fast. Really, really fast. I mean, get them hot, like rub them together, hot. And when they're really hot, when you feel like, gosh, my skin's going to burn, just slowly pull them apart and see if you feel something. Do you feel a sensation between your hands? How many of you feel that? Just raise your hand up. And it's okay if you don't. Boy, raise your hands high. Almost everybody. Okay, thank you. That is energy. That's energy, and energy is everything. And everything is energy. What you feel between your hands is actually the net or the web or the connection that we share as humanity. It's everywhere. It may feel that there's separation between you and I and the way we interact. There's not. We're all incredibly connected, and it's that energy that you feel that makes that real and tangible. Now, I have a friend that is blind, but I'll never say he doesn't see. I want you to rub your hands together again, and if you've done this before, do it at a deeper level. And now, as you're rubbing them, close your eyes and tap into what you feel when perhaps you don't see, at least with your visual eyes. And then pull your hands apart and feel that energy. And it might be even exaggerated with your eyes closed. And then I invite you to just reach out and hold on to the hand of who's next to you. Wherever that may be. Behind you, in front of you, stranger, friend. And feel the energy of who they are, no matter what the circumstance, and how they show up in your life, even if it's just for today. And then go ahead and separate hands, and you might feel that energy even as you separate from their hands. That's the connection. That's the universe, that one verse, that one song that we've talked about. And each and every soul has their tone, has their note, has their song to sing. And quite honestly, the chorus is not complete without you and without me. Now, I was introduced to all of this in a very profound way. I didn't read this in a book. I didn't study it. Many years ago, I actually died. I left this realm, and many others have talked about that. The cause of my death was an automobile accident. I was driving down the interstate, racing at about 75 miles an hour with the cruise control set, and I lost control of the car, and it rolled. Now, in that accident, I was severely injured. Both of my legs were crushed. My left leg was amputated above the knee. My right arm was practically pulled off. My rib cage was damaged. My lungs were collapsed. The seatbelt cut through me and ruptured all my insides. The most devastating is my wife and my youngest son were killed instantly at the scene. Now, that's the worst hell a man can be in. Spencer, my oldest son, was crying in the back seat. I'm struggling to stay conscious, and I knew the other two were gone. The guilt. Can't I take back the last 3 seconds? Can't I stop this from being a reality? Now, Griffin, my toddler, was thrown from the car. His car seat broke up. And yet I knew he was gone. My wife, who was seated next to me and was actually still holding onto my hand when I lost control of the car, she had suffered some severe head trauma, and I was aware of that. But in my passing, I was literally lifted up out of that, and I saw things so much differently. I began to recognize the gift that life was. How every moment is a sacred gift. I began to see my own life in a much different way. That everything was done not to me, but for me, and that literally I had created it. I found myself in the arms of deity. And in those arms, there were no mistakes. There was no judgment. There was pure unconditional love. And love in such a way that it honored everything about my life. And it honored me as a divine soul. I had a hard time getting my head around that. How could I be divine? How could I be perfect? With the things that have happened and the choices I've made, and even the guilt of I was driving the car. But it was profound and it changed me forever. Now when I walk about the street, I see people so much differently. You know, it's interesting what's happening in our world. Do you feel it? I mean, I talk about that energy. The world feels chaotic to me. I was talking to my 19-year-old son, and I said, it feels like a big pimple that needs to be popped. It's like we're just festering. And all this division. You know, I'm white, you're black. I'm straight, you're gay. I'm male, you're female. I'm Democrat, you're Republican. I mean, everything is teaching us that we're separate, we're disconnected. And we're so committed to being right that it causes nothing but strife and wars and contention. That's not who we are. I experienced who we truly are. The oneness, the peace, the beauty. I often walk down the street. Do you ever do this? I just watch people. And quite honestly, as you rub your hands, I feel people. Some of the most beautiful messengers in my life have been absolute strangers. A homeless man that ran up and hugged me and whispered something in my ear that I'd been searching for weeks. Didn't know him. Didn't know his name. I knew he was a messenger. One of the most powerful experiences I had was the woman I didn't hug. Walking down the street. Beautiful woman, stunning. Heels, dress, knockout, right? Spirit said, hug her. Of course, the ego steps in and says, yeah, right, go after the attractive one, right, Jeff? Spirit said, hug her. I didn't. I thought, what will people think? What will she think? What will my wife think? And it passed me by. I'll probably never see her again. And what was her day like? That Spirit would say to me, those angels that Michelle talked about, hug her. I perhaps had the opportunity to save her life. Or maybe she had the opportunity to bring me to a higher state. See, there are no mere mortals. You will never meet a mere mortal. Every single person you encounter is a divine manifestation of the love of God. No matter what they do, no matter what they say, no matter the choices they make, no matter what they do to you. Because quite honestly, in the big scheme of things, they're actually doing it for you, that your soul might grow, that you might reach deeper into the roots of Mother Earth and know who you are and stand with power as being that same divine manifestation of love that you may have just encountered. Nobody's special, and everybody's special. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. We have a huge opportunity in this world. I love the stories of our dear friend 2,000 years ago. And what that would have been like when mom says, come on, we need some wine at the wedding. Get on with it. And also to pause. It's not my time. I don't dare. And then getting the call. Hug the girl in the red dress. Make the water into wine. Is there any difference in the miracle? Really? Have I hugged the girl? Would it maybe created a bigger miracle than the water to wine? Let me just put out there for you that the time is now. The time is now. In all this chaos of the world, and I'll let you in on a secret, the governments aren't going to fix it. And quite honestly, the churches aren't either. But you know who is? I am. And you are. And it'll be groups like this. People committed to wholeness, to oneness, to connection. People who are committed to love that will make the difference in this world. That will literally shift the consciousness to a new place. Because quite honestly, only love will save us now. That's all we've got. Now that might sound crazy coming from an ex-Division I linebacker to be soft and loving and kind, but here's what I'll promise you. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. It conquers everything. It transcends everything, especially within me. Now, one of the biggest battles I've had is loving myself. Gosh, I can't even walk right. I was driving the car. I'm putting on weight in my 50s. This self-talk that goes on and on and on, right? That great master that decided to turn water into wine said, love your neighbor as yourself. How can I possibly love my neighbor if I don't love myself? It's no wonder we're at war. But when I find that self-love and I embrace myself as a divine manifestation of all there is, a manifestation of love, that ripples out in such a way that it cannot be denied. And that's what I invite you all to do. Now we're going to wrap up in a few minutes, and we're going to go out into our lives. And what an honor to be here and have this experience. But please, I urge you, take it out there. Take it out there and do something in the next 10 hours that changes someone's life, that makes it better. Hug the girl in the red dress. Call mom. Send that text. Make amends. Do whatever it takes to raise the vibration, and I promise it ripples out in such a powerful way. When I saw it from those higher forces, from that higher perspective of what happens when we come from love, that's when everything changes. That's when everything shifts. And it's very easy. People say to me all the time, well, I didn't die. Gosh, you had this profound experience. You went to the other side, and as Dr. O'Driscoll shared, yeah, I was kicked out. I wasn't done. I was kicked out of heaven. You got to go back. And yet here I am. But it's this easy. It's this simple. There was times I used to pray a lot, especially in my hard times, in the challenging times. And there are times when I can say, I'm grateful that I learned that, especially in the challenging times. My soul has grown far more from being challenged than it ever had from having an easy-go-lucky life. People say, well, how do you know what to do? You have this weird connection. You went to heaven and got kicked out. But there's no difference between any of us. You don't have to die to get in touch with the divine. You don't have to have a crash and have your leg cut off to embrace the beauty and the power of your body and of your soul. And here's the exercise you can do. And let's do it now. Why not do it now? Close your eyes again. I'm glad you're not tired. I'd be putting you to sleep by now. Close your eyes and take a deep breath and ask this simple question. I do this every morning. What can I do for someone else today? Now, almost immediately, you'll start to have images come up. somebody's face, some little thing, some little nudge, go ahead and open up your eyes. As those nudges come, do that. Do that thing that will be for someone else today. And I invite you to go out tonight and do something for someone else. And don't dare leave the room without hugging 3 people that you don't know. I love you, and I say that from the bottom of my heart. There's so many friends here. I love you. Be you. Own you. Be that part of the song. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope I get to see you soon. Bye.